Hey, but there's some super important news that you may have missed because it came out during COVID, and that's about Prop 19 in California. Big deal on how it impacts families and maybe yourself. Some good, some bad. Let's go into the good first. If you're 55 and older, you can transfer your current property tax base, no matter what it is, up to the value of the sale of your home. So let's say you bought a house for 200,000, your property taxes are based on that 200,000, your assessed value. You could sell that house for 1 million, but you want to move down by your kids or something else. Again, any county in California now used to have to be reciprocating counties. Now it's any county in California. I can move wherever I want and carry up to $1 million of the property taxes that I'm paying now. So I bought the house for 200,000. My property taxes are based on 200,000, but I can sell it for 1 million. That means up to 1 million in value of whatever I buy now. If I'm 55 and older, I can transfer those same property taxes. Prop 19 did is actually say you could buy more than that $1 million property and only pay taxes on the difference. So you pay what you're paying now on the property, say up to 1 million, right? Because you sold it for 1 million, and you buy one for 1.3, you would just pay the additional taxes over what you're paying now on property taxes on that additional 300,000. That allows families a lot more flexibility to sell their homes versus what it used to be. If you were 55 and older, you had to buy equal to or less than the property you sold, and you couldn't go above. So that's a big win for people who want to, say, move to their kids' neighborhood and where it might be a little bit more expensive and be able to transfer their property taxes. So big win there. Here's kind of the losers that you have to be aware of. If before Prop 19 came into place, when you died, your kid would inherit the property you're in, your principal residence, basically without sort of having any taxes on that property, and up to $1 million of rental properties without property taxes increasing. After Prop 19 now, all rental properties will go up to assessed value. There's no break at all on rental properties, meaning residential rental properties. And on the primary residence, they get up to $1 million over what the current assessed value is before they'd have to start paying an increase in taxes. But if they want to keep your tax rate, they have to actually move into that property. Otherwise, they don't get that break at all. So Prop 19, some pretty big stuff. The other thing to think about is if you have rental properties, you have to think and start talking to your kids about this. I bought my first property, 163 Whitney, number 3, which I took over the payments on it for a very low amount because it was bad market and they couldn't sell the property. Bought it for like $61,000 in the mortgage I took over. Today it's worth $405,000. My property taxes on that property currently are only about $1,300 a year. But when my son inherits it, when we die, that property taxes is going to go up to, at current value of $405,000, $5,062 a year. That means that if I'm collecting a certain amount of rents and compared to what my property taxes are, the difference in property taxes alone on that property would be $312 a month, meaning he loses $312 of income on that property every month. So what is a kid that's going to inherit your properties have a choice of? Well, if I go sell that property right now, I bought it for $61,000, I sell it for $405,000. Capital gains says I have to pay federal and state taxes almost 30% on the dollar. That doesn't even talk about recuperating depreciation. And that means that I would pay $103,200 in taxes if I sold that house today because of capital gains. But if my son inherits it or it's an inherited property, there's what's called a step up into the tax basis up to a very high level of inheritance, like 10 million plus. They would actually get a step up in the tax basis, meaning they could get it stepped up to the $405,000. When they sell it, they're not going to pay that higher tax rate like I did. So the question for families to start having the conversation is, hey, should you keep this property knowing every rental property we have is going to go potentially double, triple in property taxes? Or should you consider taking that step up in the tax basis? Good information for you as clients to start thinking about, and especially for realtors to start having those conversations with their clients as well. What do you want to do? And the more important thing too is, are the kids going to want to manage rental properties? So again, capital gains, Prop 19, super important things to know about that might have got missed in 2021. Hey, everybody, I hope that helped. This is Tim Harrison from the HLC team of Cornerstone Home Lending, and this is our Straight Up Mortgage Talk educational series. Have a great day.